just fine. When you're doing your prep.
I know. Okay, tell me if you're seeing my screen yet.
Don't see anything yet.
Not see it yet. Okay, hold on.
And if helpful, you can always email it to Deb, Karin, me, and we could try sharing it too.
Looks like I can see it, but when I'm in the meeting, it won't allow me to see my own desktop. Like I can't. Let's see. Let me try this.
Do you see the share screen?
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm on the share screen. It's just when I go in to select the window, it won't let me select the window that has my presentation on it.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, something's coming up.
Are we
There
getting
we go.
closer?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes?
Got it.
Yes.
Got it.
Okay, I'm not even sure what I clicked.
So don't ask you to do that again, huh? Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm not sure I can replicate it, but anyway, sorry about that hold up there. Well, okay, so thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity here to share a bit about what's underway at Raising Readers and, of course, how your grant dollars are benefiting our Story County community. So our grant award was targeted to enhance our early literacy programming, and specifically, it was our STARS storytelling and playtime offering. So our storytime sessions are part of what we call our early talk programming umbrella, and there are 3 primary programs there. The one you're probably most familiar with is Reach Out and Read, as that is another program that Rotary Club of Ames sponsors at the 2-year-old level. And for anyone who isn't familiar, that's kind of our wide sweep program where healthcare providers are delivering and modeling a language and literacy type message at each of the well child visits that children attend from 6 months to 5 years old. And then, of course, under the same umbrella, we have a program called Small Talk. Now, this is a direct program where families come in, they meet in cohorts, and they learn early talk and brain building type skills. And then our STARS story time, that's an enhancement of that Small Talk program, and it serves a few purposes. Of course, it's for children and their families of ages 0 to 5, and they meet twice a month. It is open to the public, whereas some of our other programs, you have to enroll in that sort of thing. This is just open to the public, so it's a public offering. And this is just an opportunity to engage community and develop those, foundational literacy skills. And so what we're doing here is we're making language and literacy as available to the public as possible. Like I said, no enrollment required. Families can drop in. And what we find often is that families recruit other families. It's been kind of a neat offering to be able to add to our enrolled programs. And you might ask why Raising Readers, puts so much emphasis on early talk, and, why is this so important? Why do we focus on babies and toddler language? And the real reason, it's this fact that 80% of a baby's brain is developed by age 3. And I know that's always a fact that hits me pretty hard too. It's like that's pretty significant. My goodness, we've got a lot of work to do before a child's even, 3 years old. And so that's, a very significant part of our mission. We know that talk builds babies' brains, and our mission very much is to drive us to help caregivers with those skills and the strategies and the resources that they can use to build their babies' brains and really maximize that 36-month window of opportunity that they have. There's a lot of influences in a baby's environment during that time, and that impacts their brain growth, both positive and negatively, to be honest. And so we want to ensure caregivers have the knowledge and the resources necessary so that they can really play a really positive role in that development. I like to share this because I found this was really eye-opening to me. One of our program participants provided this feedback about what she had learned in our programs. And she said that she had really recognized the power of books, and not just reading the text, but truly engaging in the story with her child and using that experience as an opportunity to connect and to impact her child's development. And I thought that was really it was really thought provoking. And, I know as a parent, very much read with my children, did all the right things, or so I thought. But this parent kind of took this to a different level about being very much intentional and conscious about the time she spent engaging with her child, and really recognized after her time in our programming, what an influence she was playing, and how much game she had there. And so, that's really what we're after. We want people to recognize the potential of their children and the role that they play in that part. And so your grant dollars are specifically allowing us to have this type of program, and to improve that program by acquiring some needed materials and books and activities, so that we could model those effective practices and provide those foundation building experiences. I am happy to report that over the past year, with some enhancements, our attendance at these programs have significantly increased with families. As I mentioned before, we find families recruit friends and other family members to join us. We went from, I would say a year ago, in the infancy of this type of program, we would see a few families per week, and now it's kind of, we get to the point it's almost standing room only. It's a great problem to have. So we're pretty excited about that. And again, we thank you. We thank you very much for your support. And if ever you'd like to learn more about raising readers, or our mission, or our other programs, or even how these programs are going on, don't hesitate ever to contact me. And there's my contact information on the last slide if anyone would ever want that. Thank you.
Christy, I have some questions.
Yes.
Well, first I have a comment. You showed a picture, the image of a few books kind of scattered together. One of them was Little Blue Truck, and
Yes.
I vividly remember reading that one to my boys. It's a lot of fun. So if you got young kiddos or grandkids, that's a fun one to read. But questions. So is the program just open to Story County residents, or can surrounding counties participate?
So this program, well, all of our programming, as is the title of our organization, Raising Readers in Story County, of course, we are driven to provide programming for Story County residents. I will say that some of these drop-in type programs, we don't necessarily screen where people are coming from. And I know for a fact that there are some grandparents and family members who occasionally bring family members into the programming. It's like, oh, this is our story time that we come to. And it's like, oh, that's very exciting, type of thing. And don't have any problem with allowing them to come in and join us too. Our enrolled programs, Mason, though, are definitely for Story County residents.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. And where do the meetings take place? How often are they? Duration?
Absolutely. So Storytime specifically is at our North Grand Mall location. We have a
Okay.
lovely office space down by Planet Fitness on that north end of the mall. And we have let's see, every 2 weeks, I believe, is our Storytime schedule. We promote those dates and times on our social media channels, and that's how we essentially get word out to the community about when those are going on. But yep, and it's Monday mornings, 10 o'clock on Monday mornings. And like I said, we get a nice little crowd that comes to visit us.
And duration? How long do they typically last?
The story time portion. Okay, so we kind of break this up. It's about an hour all said, but there's usually about 15 to 20 minutes of direct story time, singing, storytelling, and then our literacy coordinator, she provides, like I said, some of that modeling, talking strategies, engagement strategies, and she'll use some of the materials and toys. And then people have opportunity for free play using our materials and that sort of thing. So it's kind of like we show them, then they have opportunity to practice, and then our coordinator can get in there and mix it up with some families and provide that structure for them if they're, having a difficult time. Sometimes families are a little hesitant to get down on the floor and really play. So she just does it. She models it and she invites them down and gets some good results that way. So it's about an hour, all said.
Great. Thank you. Got a question in the chat from Kent Frankenfeld. Do you do multi-language?
We don't have any multi-language presentation capabilities at this time. We do offer some of our books. So for those of you who know about Raising Readers, pretty much everything we do comes with a gift book. And so participants in Storytime always get to take home a free book. And we certainly have books in other languages that families can choose from, but we don't have the presentation mode for multi-language. as far as a speaker, you know.
No, appreciate that.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't see any other questions. Give folks maybe another couple seconds to drop something in the chat. All right, not seeing anything. Christy, thank you so much.
All right. You're very welcome.
Okay, Deb, we'll hand it back to you.
All right. Thanks, Mason. Next, we have Missy Zanow. She is the Executive Director for Ames Community Preschool Center, ACPC, and she is going to share her screen and talk to us about the use of our community grant dollars for a project at ACPC. So take it away, Missy, and thank you, Christy.
Thank you for having me. I am going to share my screen. Here we go.
Yep, we can see it.
So our project was focused on outdoor grant ideas. And so I kind of pulled the teachers to find out what is needed for the children. Our focus was outdoors because we find that the children need more large motor play and more outside time, especially the last couple months. It's been great, the weather-wise. But they need some more creativity, more things to do other than just playing on the equipment. And we also had to take out some equipment on our toddler playground because it was not safe or age appropriate for the toddlers. So we did a couple things after talking with the teachers. These are the toddlers. So all of the playgrounds got new sand toys, new balls, but the toddlers needed a little bit extra. So we did push toys for them. And as you can see, they loved them and they were very creative with them. We got a couple of the lawnmowers, and then we also got a wagon for them. And then you can kind of see in these pictures, we also got a little outdoor kitchen for them to play in. It's the Little Tykes brand, so it's easily washable and can be out there all year round. And as you can see, the children love it. This is a little bit from the 2-year-old playground. So they got the balls and tractors and trucks, and then the sand equipment. It's just engaging them outdoors is so important, especially we're a CACFP program or sponsored program. And so making sure we have great plans for large motor play and getting outside and making sure they're active is important. This is on the preschool and pre-kindergarten playground. You'll see a couple different kinds of blocks. These ones were the wheelies is what they call them because it has wheels with it. So they can build things that they can drive, or they can just build stationary items. And then we got a outdoor wooden block set that they can, oh, that's it, that they can use for in the outdoors and then also in the sandbox. So yeah, so that's the basis of our program. We're also a local park for children, and so they're able to come in and use some of those items also.
Great. Thank you, Missy.
Yeah.
Well, you were showing some of the kids working with things, not only just toys and things to play with that, you know, they need to burn off some energy and go outside and play, but kind of some STEM almost activities where they're also using, you know, that side of their brain and engaging that with some of the things that they're having fun with. So, and Christy commented here, and this is, I love seeing children playing outdoors, and you provide wonderful creative options. So,
Thank you.
so well done. Yeah, kids need to get outside and play. So, are there any other questions or comments for Missy? Give folks a few more seconds here. Okay, not seeing any. Well, thank you for presenting today, Missy. Great to see the dollars in action there, and the kids clearly enjoying that and having fun. So thank you for coming today and presenting. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Karin, should I throw the mic over to you now for the Story County Community Foundation?
Hello, everyone. I'm Karin Sevde, obviously, you know that. I'm also Executive Director for the Story County Community Foundation, and I'm actually going to throw it over to our Director of Donor Relations, Daryle Vegge. So, Daryle?
Well, good afternoon. This was a surprise, but a pleasant surprise, I'll have to say. So it's nice to be able to talk about the Story County Community Foundation. And I just hope I can share. Okay. So thank you for having me. I'm going to move into a different room because Karin and I are kind of clashing on sound here. So I'll be right there.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's a bit of an echo in there, so thank you.
Okay, here we go. So Story County Community Foundation. I first became acquainted with this probably about 15 years ago when I was a member of the Ames Morning Rotary. We had some extra funds and wondering what to do with them to do some wise things with them. And we got in touch with Jennifer Garst of the Story County Community Foundation. And as a result, we ended up opening 2 funds. And since then, I was involved also with the Friendship Arc Homes, with our church, with United Way, and some of these funds that are held by the Story County Community Foundation. I just think it's a really good organization. Okay, let's see how I'm doing here. So for today, just kind of like to, I know some of you out there are already familiar with the Story County Community Foundation, so I'd like to maybe refamiliarize you a little bit. And I know there's probably some new members that haven't even heard of us, so I'd like to tell you a little bit about it. And I'd like to tell you about the tools that we have. And as we go through here, I'd kind of like you to think about, well, let me see. Oh, I'm not. Oh. Well. Are we doing okay now? Okay. You know, this is one of my biggest fears.
All good. Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, we got the slide today.
Okay. Okay. So anyway, I'd like to just renew you familiarity with the Community Foundation and some of the things that we do, and also about the different tools that we have. As we go through here, think about your Rotary Club, maybe the church you belong to, some other organizations, or you personally, how you might put some of these tools to work. So we are the Story County Community Foundation. What's that mean? So Story County, we are focused on Story County only. So all of our 14 communities within Story County, that's where our mission lies. We are a community foundation, and that's not just a couple of words. That is really, it's got some meaning behind it. It's an accreditation that's given, and being we are an Iowa-based community foundation, we have certain benefits that are given to us by the state of Iowa and the Iowa Economic Development Authority. And I'm going to touch on some of those a little bit. The other thing is we are an affiliate of the Community Foundation of Greater Des Moines. So that's kind of our mothership. We work independently, but we have stuff being done by the Community Foundation of Greater Des Moines that makes life better for us. These are the people of the Community Foundation board. And you can see up there, Karin heading us up. I am donor relations. And if you take a look down through that list of board members, you should see that they are scattered throughout Story County, from the northeast corner to the northwest corner, southeast, southwest, and right here names. So we like to have a broad diversity of people, both location-wise and skill-wise. So what do we do? I say we do just maybe a couple of things. One is we award grants to Story County organizations. That's probably how this thing all got started. Was there's some money that we can use to award grants to the different Story County organizations. The other thing we do is we help establish and then administer charitable giving funds for organizations and individuals and families. I'm going to talk a little bit more about each one of those as we go on through here. Talking about grants, I'll just go back a year. In 2022, we awarded $153,000 in grants to 19 different Story County organizations. This past year, 2023, again, about $152,000, and it turns out to 19 organizations again. And this is kind of where one of the benefits of being a community foundation comes in, is the source of our grants funds. So you all know we have casinos here in Ames, or not in Ames, in Iowa, and those generate revenue for the state through taxes. And we get a certain portion of that every year to give out in grants. So this past year, we got about $150,000 from the state of Iowa to give out in grants. They say give out 75% of it, and 25% of that money you put into an endowment so it'll build for future years and sustainability of those grants. So that's what we do. We also try and supplement those endowments, because I said we gave out $19,000 or 19 grants, $152,000. Unfortunately, we had about 38 requests for grants and about $600,000 requested in funding. So we're trying to build that. And if you're looking for a way to help out the Story County Community Foundation, I'd ask you to talk to Karin and see how you can support this grant process that we do. I'm going to show you the grants that we had this past year in 2023. Our largest grant we give is $25,000. And then you can see we have a whole bevy of grants that happen after that. So Habitat for Humanity, we help fund a portion of one of the houses that's being built out at the old Welch Avenue or Welch Junior High site. Wings of Refuge, they had some work that had to be done on the building where they house the young ladies. Story Theater Company, some sound equipment. So there's a whole bevy of items that we fund. So one of the things that we did, I say, is we offer grants throughout Story County. And you can see there's Collins, there's Maxwell, there's Gilbert, there's Ames, there's Huxley. Again, we try and award things throughout the county. The second thing I said we do is we establish and manage charitable funds. Now, I know I saw some of you on the slides here, and I know a lot of you have funds with us. And I'm just going to talk about two of these fund types. One is called an agency fund, and the other is donor advised. Again, I know that people in this audience Some of you have both of those funds. So first of all, the agency funds, they kind of act as a nonprofit endowment. I'm just going to run through this list up here. It says, able to support your organization's needs for today and into the future. So you've got a fund, you can withdraw from it, use it today for any immediate needs, or you can have it for the future for sustainability. Invested by professionals to grow, and I'll cover that a little bit. So money that goes in there is invested, hopefully to grow. Donors have access to a 25% Endow Iowa tax credit. This is huge. This is one of the second thing that the state of Iowa blesses us with is this 25% Endow Iowa tax credit. I'm going to get into that separately in just a little bit. The fund is visible to others, so we try and have our list of funds. We have about 80 different funds that people have with us. We try and have those out so people can see, tax planners, trust people, bankers can see that we've got all these different funds. These funds can be funded with a variety of gifts, and I'll list those out in a little bit. There is a 1% management fee assessed for managing those funds. That's pretty much, I see we got Chad Copley here. That might be about what a financial planner might look for is 1%. And it is a way for many people to give to a common thing. So a few of the people that we have, I'm just going to name some. We've got Ames Historical Foundation's got a fund with us, Ames Public Library, Swimming and Aquatics, Center for Creative Justice. We've got churches, Collegiate Presbyterian, Colonesco started an educational fund with us. Food at First is a big one for us. Heartland Senior Services, I see Deb there, Kiwanis, Micah, NAMI. We have a lot of different funds that a variety of people, YSS, the Bridge Home, United Way. Come back and talk a little bit more about this. And please, if you have questions, give a holler afterwards. I mentioned the Endow Iowa tax credit. So this is the way the state of Iowa encourages people to be philanthropic and to give into organizations that will maybe take some of the burden off the state to provide services for. So if you were to give a $1,000 gift to one of the funds of qualified funds that we hold, that would be a $250 tax credit for you. So coming right off your taxes for 2024, they're come right off that. Reduce your taxes, makes it easier to give. And this is pretty liberal here. You can get up to $100,000 in credits per year per person. So that'd be a hefty donation, but there are people that do that. When I talk about a qualified fund, the qualified fund is one that is secured through a community foundation in Iowa, and it is also a permanent endowment. And a permanent endowment provides for sustainability. And the way it does that, it allows you to only withdraw up to 5% of the balance of that fund each year. So you got $100,000 in there. You can take out $5,000 this year and use it. However, the remainder, the 95% that remains in there is going to be invested to grow. And hopefully by next year, it'll be even bigger than $100,000. So sustainability is probably one of the big things about this. So the Iowa legislature allows up to $6 million a year for tax credits. In 2023, that $6 million was used up by mid-September, and that was even after it was being supplemented. So people are using it. It's been a success. And what the upshot of this is, people are investing in permanent endowments that will help fund places like the Bridge Home, United Way, for years and years and years to come. So I talked about you can give different ways to a fund within the community foundation, and we can work with you on that. Probably mostly we'll look for a lot of assistance from our Des Moines experts. Cash is always a big one. Appreciated stocks and securities are a very common one. So if you've got some Apple stock that you've held for 10 years and you want to get rid of it, this is a good way to do it. Put it into a charitable fund and you'll have all kinds of tax advantages. Required minimum distributions. Could be grain, real estate, land, machinery. Cryptocurrency, I'm not sure about, but it's listed, and so I go with that. But anyway, so many different ways that you can contribute to one of these charitable funds through this community foundation. I told you I was just going to talk about two types of funds. One was the agency fund, and that might be one that the Bridge Home holds, Riverside Lutheran Bible Camp, YSS, whatever. The other one I wanted to talk about briefly is donor advised funds. And so this is where somebody will put in a chunk of money into a charitable fund all at once, and then they can distribute it later as they see fit. Now I see John Shearholtz out there and Susie Shearholtz. I know they have a donor advised fund, and they say this is so easy to use. You put in money now and you get to use it as you see, but you only have to take one receipt to your tax guy because it's the amount that you put into that charitable fund. And it just makes it easy. And while the money's in there, also, it is invested to grow. If you're putting in a bunch of money, you might be able to surpass the benefits of your standard deduction. So take advantage of bunching. You could make it an Endow Iowa qualified if you wish to, which means that then you can only withdraw 5% a year, but it would go on forever and ever and ever. And you could pick out a successor for it. It does have a management fee. Again, it takes, could be funded with a variety of gifts, and a lot of people do fund them with appreciated stocks and this type of thing. Just tell you a little bit about the community foundation invests this money, as I said, when they're in a fund like this. And it's really to earn a return that allows organizations to make meaningful gifts throughout the year, and still, because it's going to grow, it's got charitable, it's got power for the future. So the people that do the investing for us, it comes through the Community Foundation of Greater Des Moines, our mothership, and they use Mercer Financial for direction. And then the Community Foundation has a investment committee. They are made up of some high-profile community members in the financial world, and they would accept or tweak Mercer's recommendations. So people that would start a fund with us have options. They can go with a long-term growth, index growth, moderate growth, or a money market. And each of these has a different, what do I say, risk tolerance associated with it. And a lot of people that start these funds will mix them, like maybe 50% long-term growth, 50% index growth, just to be on the safe side. And this is what those funds have done over the past 6 years. So you can see long-term growth started out kind of poorly in 2018, but it had a nice rebound in 2019, 2020, 2021, all good years. 2022 wasn't good for anybody, and 2023 has had a nice rebound to it. So you can get a feel for it's the funds are invested in the market, so there's going to be ups and downs. I'll just let you look at that for a minute. And I'm just going to mention this because I think you have some financial planners in your group, but sometimes people have developed a relationship with a financial planner and they really trust that person's judgment. They want to be involved with it. So we have this thing called charitable investment partners. And with that, you are able to use your financial planner to manage your money, but you can also invest it through the community foundation so that you get some tax benefits that would come your way. So I think that is about all I have. Karin said, keep it to 20 minutes. So I think I've done that. But Karin is our executive director, and I'm happy that she's on board. We work well together. And then we work closely with the foundation people down in Des Moines. And there's myself. We are located in the Pile Office Building at 515 Grand Avenue. And we'd love to have you stop up and see us sometime, especially if you have some questions or would like to think about starting a fund. Karin, can I turn it back to you? Or there are questions that people might have? And Karin can answer those too.
Yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to jump off mute and ask directly or pop them in the chat. We'll hang online for a minute and see if any questions thrown out there.
As I look over the pictures
How
here,
long
I
has
see
the community foundation been around?
here in Story County, we will celebrate 20 years next year. So it's been 19 years.
Okay.
And probably the mother of this was Miss Susie Shearholtz. She saw the opportunity for the community endowed funds and kicked this off. And then Jennifer Garst, another member of your organization, got involved. She was followed up by Sunny Camp, Liz Zurcher, and now Karin. So it'll be 20 years here in 2025.
Great. Any other questions for Daryle or Karin? A little bit unfair because they could ask questions to Karin every other month, every Monday. So, not like a typical guest speaker. We may not see you again for quite a while. So,
One thing I will say, Mason, is just to add my 2 cents, we have about 28 to $30 million invested through Story County endowments. We are an affiliate, as said, of the Des Moines Foundation, which is a nice, strong relationship. Daryle and I are actually employees of the Des Moines Foundation in that relationship. So we are trying to make ourselves sustainable. So if anyone would like to talk to Daryle or I about donating to our sustainability fund, we would be happy to talk to you. So we're both learning. Daryle kind of sells himself a little short. He also served on the board here for 9 years. So he sort of has a leg up in watching this foundation grow over the years.
How long are members on the board? Is it a 3-year rotation similar to ours, or?
They can serve 3-year terms.
Okay.
And many of them fulfill all 9 years.
Wow.
So, yeah. And it's a very active board, I would say, as boards go. They're very passionate about philanthropic goals for themselves, and also for their communities that they're residing from. So.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Karin and Daryle. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
All right. I think that's it for today's meeting, Karin. I'm not sure if everybody's keeping an eye on the calendar for this month. We do have a leap year. Yeah, we do. We're going to get an extra day in the month of February. February is, as you know, Black History Month. And so I found a couple, just on a quick Google search, a couple really, really neat kind of this day in history for leap years and in celebration of Black History Month. In 1940, actress Hattie McDaniel became the first African American to win an Academy Award for her work in the movie Gone with the Wind. And in 1972, baseball player Hank Aaron became the highest paid player in the league. And so that's all I have for today. Thank you for joining, and please join me in reciting the four-way test of the things we think, say, and do. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Thank you. Thank you, Karin. Thank you, Deb and Daryle and Christy and Missy and everybody that gave presentations today. We really appreciate that. So thank you. Have a good rest of your day. Go out and enjoy the nice weather. Take care.